What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Rockstar Nerds, your source for nerd news and a bunch of just nonsense. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Terry Jones, the Monty Python founder and scholar, rides off to the beautiful sunset as he dies at 77. Betty White turns 98, and Always Sunny will never die, and much, much more. I'm your host, Mighty Mike.
Chris Nunn.
And our special guest is Max Moretta.
Yep. Michael Rohde here.
Michael Rohde, this is who Mike's
I don't know if
here.
you're going for me. Just give Max
Just off the cuff.
Yeah, just off the cuff here. All right, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Where did you get that intro, first of all?
That's from This, That, and Liberty. I'm
Okay.
actually...
Well, I need more cowbell. Yes. And that's all I heard.
Well, the cowbell's on the board there, which you're in charge of, sir.
Oh, okay. Let me just go ahead and turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, so Rockstar Nerds is going to be our sister podcast to our Rockstar News, but it's going to be more fun, entertainment. Off the cuff, just random stuff, whatever comes to mind. I hope you guys enjoy the format. Like I said, I'm Monty Mike, and we all work in the same place. And we're in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week.
It is.
It's hump day.
It is 12:40 in the afternoon.
Mike, what day is it?
Wait, hey, Mike, what day is it?
It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
That's what's up.
So, yeah, so we are basically...
a whole bunch of coworkers.
Just a bunch of doing nothing.
Bunch of dudes.
Yeah, a
We're
bunch
already
of
off to a great
nerds.
start.
Yeah.
So are you guys familiar with Terry Jones at all?
The Monty Python gun?
Who isn't
What was-
familiar
wait,
with
say that?
say it again. Monty?
Monty?
I thought I was bad at talking.
Python and
Yeah.
the
Holy Grail.
the
All right.
Dumb.
Go ahead. Say it.
Monty
Monty
Python,
Python.
and the Holy Grail.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was one of the founders of Monty Python, and Monty Python, I'm saying just like you now,
Yeah.
is like this whole like British sketch trope thing. They all like go
okay.
together, yeah. So I mean, there's a bunch of like funny, well not funny, but a bunch of series that are funny out there, different movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this. So it wasn't the only
It's a
one.
complete parody of like
Yeah.
there's the whole Knight's realm of everything. So you've
I've
never seen it.
Never seen it.
You need to
Never.
do this. This is your like bucket list before you die.
Oh, okay,
all right?
gotcha. Thank
So
you.
go see it.
Yeah.
You've seen it, right?
I've seen one.
You've been
Monty Python, Holy Grail.
That's it.
That's it. That's all.
That's
That's
the only one you need to see.
That's the only.
Don't they have the
That's the
Princess
only one you
Bride?
need to see, guys.
Yeah.
That's
There's like a whole series.
Don't they
collection.
have the Princess Bride or something like that? Isn't it
no,
the same
that's
guy?
right. It's something
Different
else.
dude?
Something
Okay.
Great
entirely
movie,
different.
but
Haven't seen
That's
that one
the other
either. I need to watch that one,
Yeah.
I guess.
So like the most iconic scene for me, honestly, there's so many with that. It's between the nights, but for me, it's the actual the horse.
Yeah,
shot
literally
was
because they had
throwing
like
coconuts.
no budget. Like,
Well, the thing is, like, the shot for it was too wide, and they didn't have the budget for the horses, like you're saying. So they were going to do coconuts behind them, but the shot was so wide that they couldn't hide the people. So they said, screw it, let's just add them to it as, like, part of the sketch. Just wherever they go, it's like, what's your horses? We're right here. It's like, you're just baking two coconuts together. What is that? It's so funny.
yeah, big.
Okay.
I like the nights that say knee, or nay.
Nay?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
part.
nay.
That's like the real part. Other than that, I might have missed the boat on that movie. I don't know. Was
Really?
it?
Dude,
Not
that
me.
is iconic film. Just one scene after another of just pure stupid hilariosity of just like one-liners and
Okay.
like
yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of people, like I love British comedy for that very reason. I love like nonsensical comedy, like 30 Rock, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn
The Office.
Nine-Nine, Office, and stuff. It's just goofy all around, just nonsensical comedy. Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. But some people are just kind of like turned off by that, like, and especially like.
well, it's a whole different sense of humor, especially coming from the Brit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, have you guys ever seen the IT Crowd?
Yes, I actually
Oh
like
my-
that one.
dude,
Yeah,
I
do
love
I
the
do
IT
like
crowd.
that.
Okay, cool. I'm in your boat right now.
Yeah, so they had
Yeah.
like an American version, and they brought
did?
like one of the main characters
Oh, wow.
to the American version of it. It was I can't think of his name, but it was the one the fro going on, the like super nerd, like the autistic type nerd who's just like quiet to himself. That guy. They brought him and like it didn't last, but oh my god, it was so hilarious. And like I tried to
I
get
have
my
to check
brother.
it out now.
I tried to get my brother to watch it, and he was just like, "This is stupid." So I'm just like, "Wow!" Like I love this.
Yeah, it's like, have you tried to turn it off and turn it on again?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
that was like most of the jokes.
Wait, what are you guys talking about again? I zoned out for a
IT
second.
crowds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were still on that or it was zoned out.
No, so yeah, the IT crowd is
Brody's
a good
with
one.
me.
You definitely got to check it
I was
out.
out.
I think they have it on Netflix.
Yeah, I think they do.
Netflix.
IT
Yeah.
crowd?
I got
IT crowd.
Netflix.
That's probably deep in the Netflix library.
Yeah.
Are you drinking LaCroix with a metal straw?
Yes, I am drinking LaCroix with a metal straw. Like Mike already knows, I am the definition of hipster. So
Yeah. Without the offendedness?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly embark on that. I am the hipster without being offended all the time. Like,
All right.
I'm okay with that.
You posted a picture on social media, and it was like the most hipster of hipster shots I've ever
Is it
seen.
him on a bicycle?
The bicycle?
It was a bicycle from like 1950s.
Yes.
He's literally wearing like suspenders with like a plaid shirt and a bow tie.
Yeah.
He's already got the beard.
And I'm just like, bro, what are you going for, like a competition? Like,
It was a Tweed Ride, so everybody was hipster that day.
That is awesome.
Is that the big? That was the
St.
theme?
Pete.
No,
St. Pete. St.
yeah, because
Petersburg.
they have critical mass,
Yes.
and like I had to stop and think. I'm like, wait, it wasn't critical mass. It's not the end of the month,
No,
and
exactly.
so that's what it was. It was
It
the
was-
St. Pete for just a
Yeah, St. Pete Tweed's Ride, 2020.
Tweeds.
Tweed, yeah. So tweed is a material that they you dress back in the 1920s. It was the Roaring 20s. It was like very
flappers.
similar. Yeah, it was very similar to corduroy, but it's a different material. It's like woven wool.
Oh, it sounds
what-
so hot.
Yeah.
Like not like
But it was
sexy,
cool.
but, like, it's gonna be extremely warm.
No, but it was cool because it was like in the colder temperatures and everything, and Roaring 20s era. It was going back in the day. It was dope.
Nice.
It was dope. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see you post those photos all the time, and I'm like, oh, I'm all about it. And then I talked to you about getting like my own bike.
Yeah.
Your own
And he
Schwinn?
said, yeah, my own Schwinn. He sent me like this link. He goes, yo,
Talking about some nasty stuff.
we had a bit of technical issues with our card there. It got full. So
So we were talking about
back-
Schwinn.
yeah,
Bicycles.
back to the conversation of bikes.
Yeah.
Let's ride that bike, guys.
Yeah. So he sends me this picture of like this bike on his website, and he's like, "Yo, check out this bike." And it was like $1,000 for a freaking bike, and I'm like, "Bro, I'm gonna go to the pawn shop, get me like a $50 bike,
And that bike is gonna break on you, real
and
quick.
I'll buy another $50 bike. And by the time I'm done with all these bikes that break, I still would not spend $1,000.
No, what's really gonna happen is like you're either gonna break on you or you're gonna go by the neighborhood and someone's gonna run out and be like, "That's my bike."
Yeah, exactly.
It was stolen a week ago, you prick.
And I'm completely fine with that because my bike got stolen. So it's just the when you go to pawn
nature of the
shop,
beast?
yeah, when you go to the
Pawn
pawn
shop?
shop and you buy something, and you have had something stolen, it's just like a long-term gift exchange program.
It kind of
Long
is.
story.
I pawned my guitar for a little bit because I was pretty hard up for cash, and one of the first questions like, "Is it stolen?" I was just like, I guess that's the legitimate question. Yeah, I just have to ask, huh?
Yeah.
They're like, yes.
Between
I'm like,
that,
"No,
they
it's-
ask for
it's
your
mine."
fingerprints and your IDs and all that other
I
stuff.
haven't gotten that
'Cause,
far.
like, I don't know, it's where I lived at was questionable, so they ask for fingerprints, IDs, and like your criminal record and shit like that. I'm like, I'm
That's
just selling you
crazy.
extra college equipment. Like, this is just videotape stuff that I don't want to use anymore.
Yeah, seriously, that makes sense to me.
But yeah, but the bike was only like $5.99.
Oh, whatever. It was like $1,000. This guy right here. Look at this. This is the link he sent me. Like $849 and then $799 for a bike. I ain't paying no $1,000 for a bike. Psh.
To you, it's-
$599.
Anyways,
I had to use max expertise to buy a bike. I did the cool thing though. I really wanted like a nice brand, so because I'm a big brand, had to show off everybody. Even though I
You're a brand
couldn't
whore?
barely- Yeah, brand whore. Couldn't ride a bike. I can barely ride a bike, but I needed the best one possible. But I consulted Max and found a strategy. I ended up with some 20-year-old bike that looks like it's new, but
That's
it's
hilarious.
nice.
Yeah.
And I'll probably never use it. So
I gotta
we'll
say,
see.
the last time I rode a bike was maybe 5 years ago.
when he worked at Jim and John's.
Yes, that's
Oh,
exactly
shit.
what.
Same with me.
Yeah, right when
the last time I rode a bike was before I joined the military.
Damn.
Like I haven't touched
goodness.
because I had a bike. I didn't have
Get
a
this
car.
guy
at the time.
training
stolen.
wheels.
It probably got stolen. I don't know what
Hey.
happened to it. I joined the military and it's gone.
Hey Max, by the end of the day, can you send him a link for training wheels?
Yeah,
So
well,
he can- so he
they
can
have
figure out
adult
how to-
training wheels too. We can make this
Nah,
happen.
man, you get back on the bike and it's like
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go. We're gonna
Moving
keep
it
this
on.
train moving.
Yep.
All right, so are you guys? Any of you guys fans of Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I am.
that's-
I have moments.
That is the show of shows, really.
Really?
I absolutely love that show.
I could watch it for times at for moments at a time, and then I get bored and go watch another show.
No,
or
I'll
something.
Is it one of those shows now where you can just leave it in the background?
That's what I was gonna
Something
say.
like that?
Exactly. It's like you put that on. and
Archer
I watch
was
it all
that for
day.
me until they removed it from Netflix for whatever God knows reason.
What
Is
are you
Sunny up
talking
there?
about?
Is Sunny on Netflix? I think Sunny's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's
Is
on
it? Because I figured they're still going, so I figured FX still has.
But
the
they're
rights
like
to
on
it.
like their 13th season.
Yeah, they're like 13 or 14 now. It's ridiculous.
But the thing is, okay, so this is becoming the trend with like most like TV shows.
What about
they're
it?
only doing like 10, 12 episodes,
Yeah.
and so like now like if you had like a series that had like 26 episodes
Yeah.
that just went on forever, then 13 seasons would be a long time.
Yeah, it would
But like having 10 episodes on there,
per season.
13 episode or 13 seasons, that's not like
No, it's
a
not a
huge
lot.
thing. So
Is that all that they're kind of pumping out? Like 10 to 13?
yeah, it's not a whole lot of numbers
Okay.
here.
That's how I feel about what is it, Law and Order SVU? This
Oh,
thing
they're on
is
14
Oh my
seasons,
God. Yeah,
no,
Law
I
and
think
Order
it was like
is-
21. What
yeah.
are you talking about,
Law and
bro?
Order goes way back
no,
to
I'm
the
talking about
90s.
always.
Yeah. It was
Now,
like
is there like different Law and Orders? 'Cause
Yes,
I
there
know
Yes,
I
there
know
is.
Law and
There's,
Yeah,
like,
there's
branches.
Law and Order,
I was
Criminal
a
10,
CSI guy.
SVU. There's a couple
SVU
other.
is like the best one though.
Yeah, the
That's-
SVU is like
was-
the longest
so
running. Thank you.
That's it. Okay, so that's Special Victims
Victims
Unit.
Unit,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, SVU. Yes.
I'm a little far from the mic.
You were too close. He was too far away.
Ah,
You want to dab my chin mic while you're at it? Like you're over here.
Well, you're in
organizing
charge of
everything.
the sound volumes
Okay.
over there, and
We're doing good.
okay, so you adjust them or
No,
Max,
I'm just messing with you, bro. You
Okay.
take
I
it
didn't-
very
We're good.
seriously.
I'll get
yeah.
close.
honestly, I wasn't paying attention to anything
So-
you were saying. So.
Okay, got it.
So what is going on with Sunny?
Go ahead.
Actually, they're on the 14th season, and they've done about 150 episodes.
Danny DeVito still at it?
Oh yeah,
Of
I think he was
course.
like the second season. He wasn't in the first one because they were like just a small time outfit, whatever. How many episodes per season is that? So it's 10. Yeah, so it was about
10,
11,
yeah, it's
11
not much at
episodes.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the last season I watched that one. That was really good. I think they're hitting their stride, and I think the reason why,
Stride?
yeah, like the 14th season, and they're finally hitting their stride.
Well, I wonder if because like a lot of shows ever since I guess like really Family Guy or The Simpsons came out, they really dove on political topics like today
They
current
hit-
matters,
yeah.
which made the door really open for writers. Because before that they had to stick to a structure, like coming up with their own storyline.
Yeah, they start to get a little political in some of the episodes, like this one. Like, I mean, this is a thing that's been long going on in the entire series. Is that like one of the main characters, Mac, he's always been like this ambiguous, incognito, like homosexual, gay guy, whatever, and he's always kind of played it off, and everybody's kind of known. And like he started dating this girl who was like a
Transsexual, right?
like
She was
a-
transsexual.
She was pre-operation.
Pre-op,
Yeah,
pre-op, yeah.
And so like the joke was that every time she would walk around and you'll see like the penis bulge there, and they're like, she's a guy, and he's like, what are you talking about? Like what are you talking about? So like yeah, they've kind of touched those subjects on, but in the last episode he literally says it to his father. He goes, "Dad, I'm gay," and then he goes into this whole production. And so like they're literally just like, but they're doing it really well. It isn't like I'm slapping your face with like like PC stuff or LBGTQ stuff.
They do a great job of like embedding that stuff they want to talk about without going PC, and they really keep it comedy. That's what I like about it.
That's
good.
That's when you're dealing with a really good writer.
That's in my opinion, that's the best comedy when guys can take like the Dave Chappelle's, those guys that can take those like high intensity subjects and just make it fun.
He can do that. He can also like offend you with a point. But he's like, you got a point. You're like, I should be offended, but you know what? He makes a point.
Yeah,
Love
that is
Dave
true.
Chappelle.
That is true because I have
I
a lot
love
of friends
Dave
in the
Chappelle.
LGBTQ community, and they're like, the Dave Chappelle skit about the car and the gay people. They were like, that's true.
Dave Chappelle is come back full circle, and I am so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Wasn't that
he's
his?
back.
I think that was the special name, right? Full Circle or something like that.
I don't know. No, I
Sticks
don't
and
think so.
Stones.
Sticks and
Yeah,
Stones.
Sticks and
Okay,
Stones.
okay.
Yeah.
But
He's
go
got
ahead.
a couple back up on.
Well, I think the vast majority of people who watch, this content out there don't care. I think they're smart enough to know that this is comedy. This is just a joke.
there's always gonna be someone offended.
there's a small vocal group who has access to Twitter that they're gonna sit there and be like, I need to be heard, know, and they're gonna go out there and start ranting and raving against like whatever. And most people, like I said, I know quite a few people who are in the community, and they don't care.
Nope.
They don't go their entire lives walking around going, man, that Dave Chappelle, he offended me. No, they're just like, oh, that was funny.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In a country of 300 million people, there's going to be someone who's walking around just like that.
Oh, I know. I get it. 300 million, even just 1% of people who sit there. That's a lot of people who are just upset and mad.
Yeah.
But the thing is, okay, so
And they have the loudest voice.
yeah, they have access
Like-
because most people don't care, and those people do, and they're gonna sit there. And
I would say the
tweet.
last topic for or the last part of this subject would be like, I think Dave Chappelle said it best, is like, if he can't tell the joke in front of you and he's talking about that particular community, he shouldn't say the joke at all.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about a transsexual female that was sitting in his audience, and that person would come to all his shows every time he was doing it.
I remember I heard about that.
Yeah, and he was laughing his butt off.
He laughed at it was like 3 shows in
Yeah,
one day. He showed
yeah.
up to every single show, and every single time he sold it, like he
He's
just
like,
laughed his ass
That's
off.
commitment.
And
right there.
he actually the person had a drink with Dave Chappelle.
Thereafter.
And they're after the show, and they were just like having a good time talking with this person, and like he just absolutely loved it. He,
Whatever they want.
whatever they want.
So the main point of this is that the co-creator Rob McElmurray, I can't say his last name, said that the show will continue going on as long as people still watch it. Nice. Now, my question is,
and ratings.
Yeah, exactly, ratings. When is too much like a bad thing? Like, you see The Simpsons, for example, they were like on their 30th season, and they're just continuing on. But when you watch The Simpsons, it is like pure garbage now. And it's like, and also,
Really?
there's all this element like when you watch it when you were a
Simpsons.
kid.
I still watch it, and I still get cracked up about it.
Oh man, your taste is so horrible.
So we've already discussed this behind the camera. Like, Battlefield Earth apparently is a horrible movie.
Chris is a fan of Battlefield Earth.
What's the other? Is like another music or artist.
He's like, yeah, I watch Battlefield Earth like once a year. Like, it's just my go-to thing, man.
No.
I'm depressed, lonely.
if it's on
you know?
Sci-Fi, it's there and be like, hey, nothing else on.
No.
It's a great movie.
As a cinephile, I would no.
Yeah, so my whole thing is that,
That's
like, like they're saying that they're going to continue going on. I know, like, with
My taste is
Seinfeld,
garbage.
they were like, we're going to go out on top, but they did it like really bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
So, like, I don't know, like, do you think they certain shows should just have like, hey, look, we're going to go out on top, or they should just ride this train until it burns?
Well, they should have stopped Walking Dead a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
So it depends on the
agree.
show.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, if you saw, I think
In the
you saw that
content.
kind of with Game of Thrones. You saw that's a big one that just sticks out of me. You get to the end of that. I think there's like a drawing with the horse where they kind of have the horse all finished. And then the end is a
I'm
little
kind of
bit
in
bigger.
denial right now.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
like-
because I haven't seen the last season yet.
Oh.
I'm in denial. I'm in denial about it. 'Cause I don't want it to end.
It's still great. It's
Ladies
still
and
great,
gentlemen,
but it's
this
like when they
is-
have that bar set so high, and then they
Yeah.
just it was like
A lot of people are disappointed.
you're expecting a 12 and you get like an 8 instead of a 12.
I
and
think
it's-
this is
I think D
Yeah,
and
it's
D
the
they
expectations.
what is it? D&D has made a bad name for themselves. Like, nobody wants to touch them in Hollywood. They were supposed to do some
Yeah, didn't they
D&D.
mess with Star
They're
Wars?
like the
Dungeons and
creators.
Dragons?
No.
He's the dragons.
I don't know their names, but the creators of what is the show, the Iron
Game of
Throne?
Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
The Iron Throne. Yeah.
Throne.
You're close.
It's
not
about
wrong.
the Iron Throne. I was close, but they're the creators. They call them D&D, and they were supposed to do like a Star Wars offspring, but then they got fired or let go, or they stopped or something. And
No,
that-
it's a little more complicated than that.
What
Like
is
what David Benioff and DB Wise,
yeah.
or D&D, are the two men who proceed, whatever. So the whole issue with this is that they were supposed to do Star Wars,
Yes.
but then Netflix had signed a deal with them
Yeah.
to produce some other content that was going on.
Conflict
And-
of interest. Or
well, it became
scheduling, right?
Scheduling and shit.
not so much a scheduling issue. This was basically Netflix flexing its muscles.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, Disney Plus was coming out.
Yeah.
And so Disney Plus was like,
Star
hey,
Wars.
you're going to make our stuff. And then Netflix was like, nah, because Disney's taking all their content off our stuff. We're flexing our contract muscles. You got to sit there and choose between the two of us. And Netflix was offering them $150 million to produce, I think, like 6 movies or something like this, like a half a dozen. So DB Weiss was like, all right, sorry, it's Star Wars. We're going to go. You know, so
Screw 2 franchise.
it had a lot more to do with the contract
Yeah.
that they had in
Gotcha.
place and the money that was involved.
All right.
With Game of Thrones, is there supposed to be a prequel coming out?
Yeah, oh, there's gonna be okay. So here's the thing: HBO is literally gonna never
Real
stop
fat.
making Game of Thrones
It's
stuff.
gone. It's
They
it's
can't.
going forever.
It's easy.
Yeah,
you think so?
they're diving into
I
some of
hope-
the Targaryen stuff. They're
Well,
diving
I mean, look
into
at it,
yeah.
like Star Wars. They're diving
Yeah.
in. They can
Everybody.
do so many characters, side characters.
That's where I feel that like certain things get perverted. When you're talking about like how long is a season too long, I think that like when you just live in a universe as is like it takes away from it. Like Star Wars started off as 3 movies, you know, and then it's like, no, here's a universe that we're gonna go on forever, and that's it.
Oh, good lord!
So you
yeah.
think it's kind of blown past?
Yeah.
I think that like
sales?
sometimes you
I
get
would
like
say
that
so.
wanting more feeling, and that's what makes it so exciting. Like why everything is so
Well,
good, and then when they give you more, it's
but
just
you
like,
never-
ah,
you
it's
never-
okay. Ah.
If you stick to that, then there's never gonna be any original content. Like we're just
Exactly,
gonna
yeah.
stick to like nothing but Star Wars. You know, it's gonna be an encyclopedia of itself. Go ahead.
Well, how many movies or shows out there that have that ability to here's our universe. Here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, and now we can expand upon it however creatively we see.
Yeah.
So anybody who's a Star Wars fan,
Uh-huh.
like either past or coming up,
Yeah.
they literally have a plethora of ways or things to watch and to
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Like some people like the Star Wars Clone Wars. Or
Mhm.
do you, one of you have
No,
fans
I
of
mean-
the Clone Wars.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, Clone Wars, the cartoon series.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cartoon.
See, there's
series.
the whole another side of a universe
Yeah.
adapted straightly to kids, but plenty of adults love it. So
Okay.
I like the idea of taking a universe, but
Fair enough.
like Walking Dead is definitely shit. That
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue with Walking Dead is that like literally you ran out of storylines. Like there is nothing more that could be said, could be done.
You can only
I-
walk around Georgia
and-
for
and
so
they-
long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Georgia for so long, or
Yeah, I
Virginia
know,
where
right?
they are.
And of all the places, you're gonna stay in Georgia, like
Well,
just
they're in
to-
like Virginia now, but
Yeah, I'd be like, let's go to a coast, find an island.
I'm getting on a boat. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Go
zombies.
find
They
an
can't
island.
swim. There we go.
And,
The
like,
show's
it's-
over.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like,
Show's over. Ding.
and I get it, like the series, and this is going into spoilers, spoiler alert territory. I get it, like the show follows the comic books pretty closely, or at least they try to follow as closely. So like, there was one part in this that I don't know if you've seen the last one, but like in the beginning of this last season, they had a thing called the Whisperers, and
Yeah.
it was like, I was like, oh snap, because they had what the hell's his name? The guy with the mullet. He's like the country guy.
The king?
No,
The
not the king. That's not a mullet. He has dreadlocks.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You were talking about
He's a
hair.
white guy.
Oh, the dude with the mullet that's really smart, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what
Like,
about him?
I'll recognize. I
Yeah.
got to fix your
Yeah.
computer over here.
He's super dude.
Yeah, so like he was like sitting there being attacked by them, and he comes up and he was like, after the attack was done, he was like, "Oh, they're talking," and blah blah. And they're like, "No, the walkers are not talking." And he goes like, "Well, they've been dead long enough, and like this has been going on. Like, who knows if they're not like regaining their consciousness and stuff like this." And I'm like, that would be like a refreshing start to
Nice
this.
spin-off.
Nice spinoff.
Well,
And-
they did that in Dawn of the Dead too, or in
I
the
don't
second
remember.
movie. Do you guys remember the movie Dawn of the Dead? Came out like early 2000s. So when they came out with the second one, so pretty much humanity kind of established itself on this island, and off the main coast, you could see the zombies. They were all looking and they were like figuring stuff out, and they literally jumped in the water
And walked
all the way-
across.
walked
Yeah, I
across.
think I remember that.
And they were
scene.
like picking up guns, like, and like, and they're but still eating.
I think I remember
Yeah.
that.
So, like,
I don't know if it was
gaining
Dawn of the Dead
conscious
though,
of-
but yeah, they were talking about like there was a zombie movie that was like that.
yeah, I don't remember that.
I mean, there's so many renditions of the idea of zombie. It's kind
What's
of
your best
It
zombie
is.
movie?
Ooh, that's a good one.
in terms of what way?
yeah.
I don't know, because I've always been. That's what I'm saying. Like tossing that around.
Ooh,
I liked.
we're talking zombies
I know
now.
it sounds crazy, but I like with Brad Pitt, the World War Z.
Yeah.
I thought that
So virus.
the concept of a virus and like it being able to
Okay.
be like man-made was pretty
All
cool.
right.
Okay, so the thing with World War Z, it was supposed to be based off the books, but then the director and also
Kinda
kind of
took his
jacked it
own-
up.
yeah.
But supposedly the book World War Z is way better, just because of
Oh,
the.
every book is
Well, because the reason why most books are better is because they can fill in a lot of the gaps that you're missing in the movie, because the movie has to be
the
condensed.
details and stuff.
But the book and the movie are completely different.
Yeah.
Like in the book, it's supposed to be this dude who's going around after everything was done. He's supposed to be interviewing these people and asking the stories, and they're kind of going back and reliving them, like all the horrors and all the things that they had to go through. And this one was kind of like the genesis of the
Okay.
virus and him surviving.
but it's still about a virus.
Yeah, I get that, but that's most zombie movies. Yeah. So, anyways,
Well, yeah, it just depends on how it is and also how they're acting and stuff like that. 28 Days Later was amazing.
That was a good one too.
yeah, I think that's a good one
a
too.
rage virus,
Yeah.
which is great. There's a series on Netflix now called V Wars.
Yeah,
That show is
okay. No,
really
that's the
good.
wrong. That's
So,
not the one I was
and-
thinking about.
Are you
No.
talking about Dracula? I think.
No, I wasn't talking about
Okay,
Dracula.
No.
but so V Wars. The premise behind that one is that in ancient man, there was another species because we had like the Neanderthal and the human, the Homo sapien,
Yeah.
the different kinds. There was another species of
Is
person.
it animated? Or
No, nope.
Okay.
It's a live,
Live
action,
action?
and it's
Okay.
actually done really well because as we know, the ice caps are melting, the permafrost is thawing, so we're coming across these new viruses or old extinct viruses coming up. So a scientist went up there, him and his buddy, they both
Extracted
caught
it.
extracted
Oh.
it. One turned, the other one didn't because they sourced it to a genotype. It's like if you
Okay.
have it from a descendant
So you can have like
ancestor-
built-in immunity,
Yep.
basically.
or but if you had the certain kind of gene type from an ancient ancestor, you could turn into different versions of a vampire One would tore out the throat. One would be called, I think, a Verdelek.
Okay.
Yeah, Vertilek is the ones that like.
You're just like zombie.
Yeah, they
kinda
use
zombie
you as
state.
like a sippy cup.
Yeah, quite literally. Like they inject venom, which makes it like a high, like a heroin high, and you're
Yeah.
just like a drug addict.
Yeah.
And so they're very lazy vampires.
V-War.
So
I'm gonna
the-
have to look it up.
Look
too.
it up. Like the
looks
story
cool.
behind.
I
it
would
is
say
really
for
good.
me, the two would be. There's two of them. There was I don't know the name of it, but it was one with Vin Rhymes. Anybody know Vin Rhymes?
Dawn of the Dead.
No, it wasn't Dawn of the Dead.
Well, he did a couple of them.
He
actually.
did a couple of them, but this one was like it was really like a B-rated movie, a zombie movie, and I
Were
loved
they
it.
climbing on the ceilings?
I don't remember, but like there were certain things that caught my eye about this zombie movie. Number one, they had like a girls' archery high school team that was like kicking butt. Like they didn't they said it
Was this
themselves.
Daybreak?
I don't remember.
Oh,
it might
that
have
was
been
a
that.
good one.
Yeah, that was a good
No,
one. I
it
like
wasn't
that.
Daybreak
No,
because it
Daybreak
was
is-
like it was literally a
was
bad
Netflix,
movie.
yeah.
It was literally a B-rated movie, but with Vin Rhymes in it and a couple of other girls. So the high school archery team, they were like, yeah, every time we went into like a sporting goods stores, all the bullets were done. All the bullets were done,
Number
but
4.
we still had
Bring them down. Number 4.
yeah,
Okay.
like
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
no, yeah. So the archery team still had arrows, so they would go around and like just go ham on everything, and they would win. And then there was a lady with a sword. She's like, guns don't make any sense. So like there was a
Yeah.
lot of aspects of that zombie universe that made sense. I'm like, you wouldn't have like guns and
Yeah.
endless ammo and all that other stuff like a lot of zombie movies do. And then another one, I think it was
I think you will. We have a lot of ammo in this country.
yeah, yeah.
It'll go very quick, and a lot of casualties will be taking
yeah,
place.
exactly. So
Crossfiring.
Oh, yeah.
what is it? Z Nation was pretty good.
I like Z Nation.
Z
Yeah.
Nation is
seen
good.
that one.
And then
But Z Nation is more of like a comedy.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
I don't think I've seen
They
that one.
canceled it, but it was like 5 seasons in, so you get a lot of content out of
Yeah.
it.
Black Summer was actually.
Oh,
pretty
so
good.
that's the one. Literally, I have it locked
Yeah,
up in
Mike,
here.
yeah.
Black Summer. Yeah, continue.
what's Black Summer?
It's another zombie movie that was on Netflix
Okay.
or series. It has like 8 episodes out.
Yeah.
But the way they shot it, like
it's really good.
they call it a prequel series to Z Nation.
Oh, okay.
So it literally, like, in Z Nation they talk about Black Summer and
Uh-huh.
how like everything happens of this.
Yeah.
But the difference is that Z Nation is like a comedy. Black Summer is like just straight like horror.
Like the dark.
That it's just like dark and like literally like they start off with all these characters and these characters literally like you like, oh, this is a good guy. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Well, it also follows them in a very interesting way, and they all cross each other's paths, and you only get to see it until the next step.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's
That's
done
dope.
very well. So you follow one person, shit happens, and then next thing you know, another person is going to come into play, and
Yeah.
then it jumps to that person. You get to see up to that point where they cross paths.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I remember the last one I was going to talk about. It's
Oh.
called The Girl and All Her Gifts, and that was a pretty good zombie show. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It wasn't a show; it was a movie actually. It's A Girl and All Her Gifts, and it's like about this is like post-apocalyptic. All the zombies are already acting amok and stuff like that, but they find babies and they were injecting them, and with the zombie virus, and only a handful of them exist. But it's really good. It's A Girl and All Her Gifts. I think
Was it a
Amazon.
little girl?
Yeah,
And
little
like she was
black
like
girl.
kind of like
Yeah,
I
wearing a
wanted to
mask.
see that.
Yeah, it's
it
good.
actually looks really good.
It's really good.
So
It's really
there's what's Rody? What's your favorite?
Oh, I said World War Z. That's
Well, that's right, you did. We
Yeah.
started off with that one. My bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think okay. So my favorite zombie movie would have to be Zombieland. Like I think.
oh my
it's-
goodness! How
How
did we
can we
all
forget
how
that?
Like
did we
the,
all
like the
go
original
through
one
How do we
was.
forget that?
I saw the second one. The second one's kind of like eh.
I want to.
Well, they
But
waited
the-
too late to
I
do
haven't.
it.
Yeah,
I haven't,
yeah,
I haven't
exactly.
seen the second one.
I
Yeah,
haven't
but the first
either.
one,
I want to.
I think it was hilarious. I thought it was great. I thought the casting was perfect. I thought the whole like structure and like how they did everything was fantastic. The second one kind of follows it loosely, and they try to like put more like different plots and different storylines in it. But like I said, they waited like a little too
What, like
long.
10
It was kinda-
years?
yeah, 10 years, and it's like but like I enjoyed it still.
Double tap.
There's
I
one
wanna see
that
it.
there's a show
Double
out there
tap.
called what is it? Stakeland. Stakeland is like the serious version of Zombieland, but it's a B-rated movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's out there,
That's
and it's about a
interesting.
kid that like meets up with some old dude that calls him pops or something like that, and he goes around like dealing with zombies and stuff.
I'm pretty sure if we quickly Googled it, there are probably like literally hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands, of like just zombie movies.
Oh yeah.
Like, isn't there one with like a bunch of Boy Scouts?
Oh yeah, zombies, and Boy Scouts and strippers or something.
Yeah, something
Stuff like that. Yeah.
It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I forgot. I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. I honestly, this is the as far as like zombie movies go, like is it a trope that's being like overdone? And I think yes.
It
100%.
is. So
100%.
so
But like
let's-
there are some gems out there.
So
that are
let's
pretty
talk
good.
about the psychology behind it. Number one, the thing is that we like in humanity we want to disconnect and we want to find purpose.
This is the nerd talk.
Like, yeah, exactly.
This is the real nerd talk.
Yeah, but so we want to disconnect, and everything we look at as far as TV shows and entertainment wise is to find simplistic purpose in living. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to live in the post-apocalyptic world. Why? Because you don't have to deal
No,
with.
I do not.
Okay, you're the few exceptions, but
Well, they want
everybody-
novelty.
Kill me
Like
before
at
that
the end of the day, they
happens.
want
I'm
to be
out.
novel.
I don't need
Yeah.
zombies.
I'm out.
Yeah, but like you believe that you're gonna be the last survivor in the post-apocalyptic world, and because like you're a badass or whatever.
Or you're not
So-
gonna die from like cholera
Exactly.
or
Yeah, seriously.
Diarrhea or
typhoid.
something
But
stupid.
then the other thing about the
You died of
zombie-
dysentery.
But the other the
It's
other
like
thing
real
about,
life
Go ahead.
Sims.
yeah, no,
Keep
no.
keep going, bro.
I'm sorry.
I got you. I'm listening.
But the other thing about like the zombie aspect of it is that like zombies are a monster that's fine with everybody. You know what I mean? It doesn't offend. It's like it's a monster
It's
that's
the PC
feasible.
monster.
It's the PC monster, but it's not offended. Like it's not religious. It's not homophobic. It's not like it's
Its
not
sole purpose
It's
is to
not
eat.
terrorists. It's like look. They're monsters. We can all hate them equally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what it ends up being.
Huh.
Yeah, I did some research on it.
We see.
Oh my god.
He's like on the toilet. Is like, I guess what's it wants that everybody
Remember what I
loves?
said earlier? All right. So what I said earlier was that I enjoy Max and I appreciate his friendship because if you tell him something, hey, you should look this up. He's
will
actually
look
going to
it
go
up.
look it up, and then he's going to come back to you a day or two later and be like, hey, I looked up. I like it, or I don't like it because.
I love the don't like it ones because those are my favorite.
Yeah, because you get to hear an opinion that you just never thought of before. You're like, oh, man.
You know, it's another.
I appreciate you, sir.
No problem.
You
Thank you.
made me
Likewise, sir.
You win the appreciation award.
Make it come out.
you wanna
like,
yeah.
Wah, 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 wah. Which one is it?
There
There
you
it
go.
is.
Another one. This one, like I saw the original, like it was a YouTube short. It was probably like 10, 15 minutes long. And then they turned it into like a Netflix movie in 2017 called Cargo. And it essentially has Ben Howland, who's one of the hobbits from Lord of the Rings. He gets bitten, and it takes place like in Australia. He gets bitten,
Oh, I seen
and
that
he has
one.
his baby strapped
Yeah,
on
yeah,
his
yeah,
back.
yeah.
And so like literally he has to like find like a location to get to find someone to take care of his baby, and then like he ends up like with like a stick with like meat hanging in front of him
And a
he's-
balloon,
yeah,
right?
like or
Something
something like that. And he's like walking like a zombie with a baby,
Yeah.
and the baby's crying. And he's like trying to like eat it, but like it was low budget. It was
Well,
kind
yeah,
of. It was kind of like, like I thought it could have done a little bit better, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
There's an actual, I guess like a production on YouTube called Amulet, I think it is, and all they do is just nothing but shorts, and it's all over the map. And I think that's where I saw that one too. Amulet, I think it's called Amulet.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
But it is super cool. Nothing but shorts, and they go from like ranging in like different categories of horror
That-
to comedy to drama, suspense.
That's dope.
Super cool.
That reminds me of all the ones that are becoming all the rage now, like Bird Box, and what was the other one
Yeah.
that came out similar?
Silence.
Was it
Silence was
something?
like kind of a industrial espionage of
The Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
Quiet
They're coming out with the
Place.
second one.
Yeah.
What's the one? What's the one with Ryan Reynolds where he's like stuck in the coffin the whole time? Have you guys seen that?
Buried.
Oh, Buried. Yeah.
Buried.
And that was
wanna see
Ryan
that.
Reynolds, was
That's-
it?
that's
that
Ryan
was.
Reynolds,
yeah.
I thought it was Captain American. Chris Evans.
Captain American.
Captain America.
I thought it was Chris Evans.
No, that was definitely Ryan Reynolds.
Buried alive.
I mean,
Oh, where's it going?
just called Buried.
Human Torch. The Human Torch.
Yeah, Torch.
Yeah.
No,
But
you're right. Yeah,
that-
it was
it's-
Ryan Reynolds.
I don't know if you look into that, like that kind of really dives into like psychological culture, like that.
Of fear.
Because and really, it's all shot in the coffin too. The whole movie takes place, so it's
Yeah, I haven't
kind of
seen it yet,
wild about
so.
like the way that they do it and the
How do you-
cinematography of that.
How do you guys feel about movies that are shot like one location?
It has
to be done
so
one.
well done.
The phone
Yeah.
booth.
Yeah, it has.
Phone
to be so
booth was
well
a great
done.
movie.
Like the phone booth. Okay, so I don't remember the phone booth, but I
Me neither.
remember Dog Days. Not Dog Days. What the hell is it called? It's like
So-
it's a.
Figure it out. So you don't remember phone booth?
I
Colin
actually
Farrell?
have the DVD. Yeah, I have the DVD.
Yeah.
I just don't remember watching the movie.
So
Like,
he's pretty
he
much
was
a
in the
man that
phone
just lived.
Dog
life
Days is
of-
not the movie I was talking about.
But phone
like-
booth was
little bit
shot
happier.
on a single location, predominantly. Like
Yeah, I know
90% of it was in the phone booth
Yeah.
with this person, which was Keith Sutherland as the shooter.
Yep.
And It was a great one. It has to be good, just like you said, Rhodey. It has to be done good.
It has to
Oh,
be.
Reservoir Dogs.
That is
Oh,
not
yes.
shot in one
One
location.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's
They go
not.
from-
Separate rooms in
That's
one
not what.
warehouse.
Yeah, that's not what I'm
it.
talking about.
Yeah, but one location movies are hard to shoot.
That's
just like
amazing.
I
I'm
think
sure.
we all
Yeah,
agree.
you have any
Let's see,
insight on that?
Crazy
Max? Like-
8 was shot in one room.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
The
one?
cabin, Crazy 8.
Oh, okay.
Or the
I haven't seen
Hateful
that
8,
one.
sorry. The
Hateful
Hateful
Eight.
8. Quentin Tarantino.
Is that the one where he's like
Kurt Russell,
okay with
Samuel
Kurt Russell,
Jackson.
and they have to like
all
figure out how to
psychopaths.
get out or whatever?
No, they're just, there's a storm coming through and they all end up kind of killing each other.
Nice.
Because Kurt Russell is like a bounty hunter. And it's just
Okay,
like, I'm here to hang this woman.
I've definitely seen it. I just it's not hitting me.
Yeah.
It's not hitting me.
Great
in the face.
movie. That was shot in one location.
Yeah. I don't remember like a lot of one locations, even though I've seen a lot of one location.
What's
shot
the
or whatever.
one with
Apparently, there's a ton of them. Like looking at
There's
a list here.
The Reef or something like that with who's Ryan Reynolds? Brie Larson. She was surfing.
the surf. I know you're talking about. It's Blake
shark.
Lively.
Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
It
about
was
to say
like- there was a
Brie
shark.
Larson's not a name you
you're-
hear very
She's like
often,
stuck
yeah.
on the buoy or whatever.
Yeah, she's stuck out on a rock
Is
because
it
there's
open
a shark.
water? I remember open water.
Open water was two scuba divers that got left behind.
Yeah.
And
Technically one location. The middle
technically
of the
one
ocean.
left in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, just kind of traveling around.
All right, so this is a list of. Tell me if you like it or not. We're just gonna go down this list
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
just yes.
All right, so number 1, Devil, came out in
that was
2010.
great.
That was good. I
The
like
Killing
that one.
Room,
Nope.
Don't remember that one.
Unknown,
Mhm.
Exam.
That one's. I've actually. That
Yes,
was amazing.
that was good. That
Wasn't
was
the
really
circle
good.
filmed in one location?
Yes, the circle was filmed in one location.
Yeah, that
I
was.
like
That's
that.
right. Yeah, I did like the circle. That was
I
good.
like
The
the
only thing
circle.
I didn't like is at the end when like they were like.
Do you know?
well,
You know what?
Yeah,
We'll
it's
spoil it.
crazy.
All right, this technically one location, but kind of weird. But has anybody seen the Cube or the Cube
Yes.
series?
Dude, okay, so that was the
Yes.
next movie I was gonna. It's
You gotta
one of the
tell me.
highest rated ones on here. It's like
Cube,
7.2.
and there's like 7 of them now.
Well, the Cube, the original one was really good, and it was
Yeah.
shot in one location. They just kept switching. They used the same room, but they just kept switching like the
People
you know,
and the ways of death.
the ways of death. Buried, Fermat's Room. Never heard of that one.
No.
Panic Room.
Panic
Yes,
Room was
that was
That one.
that was a good one. I liked it.
Rope. This one was made in 1948, so I don't think anyone
Nope.
here. Real. Then
I've actually seen The Rope. That's what is it? That's a film school movie must watch.
Yeah, so no, I was right.
He was
Reservoir
right.
Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs is
Yeah,
right.
it's shot in one location.
Oh,
Or the warehouse, if you guys want to call it that.
yeah.
All right. That's kind of an asterisk on that.
Giant warehouse where one person's bleeding in one room, once someone's cutting an ear off of another in another
You
room.
sir are wrong. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, did you guys ever seen the Langoliers?
Yes.
Oh, so Langoliers was like
No.
a TV short series that was made by like Stephen King,
Mhm.
and it was like, it was really good.
It's
I
gotta
liked
be
it.
dark.
It's
But so like
plane.
yeah, so his plane is flying, and this is like old stuff. Like most people watching this are like, "What the hell's a Langolier?" So this plane's like flying and it flies through like a time rift and it gets stuck in time, and it turns out like time and like the past gets eaten by these monster things that
they
are
call
called
the Langoliers.
Langoliers.
They're
And so
monsters.
like they have to escape this time pause because like the clock stop, everything stops, and they have to escape before like these monsters with like these teeth that rotate come and like eat them up, and they're eating everything. Like they
It's
eat the
pretty,
time.
It's
Eat the
pretty
past.
wild because nothing happens until like the last. It's like a 2-hour film, and nothing happens to the last like 30 minutes. Like one person, like it's a giant 747 plane. Everyone disappears off the plane with the exception of like 7 people, and so like they are trapped. They're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Clock is stopped. One person's having psychic visions about it's the Langoliers, and the one person's
Yeah.
going psychotic, killing people, and it's like and time itself is being eaten away by the Langoliers, and it's like literally everything, the fabric, the space, time.
That's
everything.
amazing. You remember it with such detail.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember anything.
Wrapping my head
I just
around
remember
it.
there was like a blonde girl who was like filling a watch. And I was it.
Yeah,
What are
She's
some
like,
of the
yeah.
other
She
ones?
was blind.
All right, so we're gonna end on these two here. Like, have you guys seen The Mist?
yes.
So I think so when I first saw The Mist in 2007, like I was just like the ending. I was kind of like, oh, that sucks. But
loved it.
now, like I'm
I
just like,
loved
that's
it.
awesome. I like
Yeah,
it.
Yes.
Everybody loves
Screw
the
happy
ending of the
endings,
When I
Mist.
first saw
man.
that movie, I'm not gonna lie,
Everybody.
I was like, that is the worst movie I've ever seen. That way that ended, the build up to it the whole time, and then like you just said, as I've gotten older, a little bit more appreciation for
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah.
I see.
I
What was
love
going on
unconventional
there.
endings.
Mhm.
Absolutely love it.
It makes
No, and I
sense.
agree with you. I'm with you on that. And the
hate
next one is
predictable
127 hours. That's the one where he has like cut
That's
himself.
crazy.
Yes,
Cut off
that
an
was
arm.
James Franco.
Yeah, James Franco. So like, yeah, a lot of these movies they primarily take place in like one location, but there's other locations that are a part of this. Because like I was like, you guys are like, oh no, the reservoir takes place in other locations, and it does. Like the setup, it does, and the travel, and then they rob the bank.
Yeah, I
and,
guess the amount of time and where is it? Like how much time of the movie?
We
is
definitely got to
it
get
here?
some stipulations in
Yeah,
on
okay.
what
Yeah,
is
'cause
described as
120
a one
Yeah.
shot movie. Because I think we have 3-1 against that one. That's one shot.
For what? Oh,
Reservoir
that's
Dogs.
the Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, it's 3-1 right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna end on that one, or we're gonna end on this one. Betty White turns 98 today.
Happy
She was-
birthday.
She's so gross.
Did you see Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds sung Betty White "Happy Birthday"?
No,
on
I didn't see
Instagram?
that.
That's
It
kinda
was
awesome.
freaking hilarious. It was hilarious. So you guys got to look it up.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look up. There you go. See, he's gonna come back to me in like 20 minutes. It's like I liked it.
So, fun fact: she was born in 1921, and sliced bread was invented in 1928.
Wow.
So
Whoa,
she is
older than
sliced bread.
bread. What's cooler than sliced bread? Betty White.
Betty White.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, I saw her in an interview like probably like a year ago, and she still got it. Like she's still quick.
She's
still
all there,
witty.
yeah.
Dude.
She's
Yeah.
got her
Kind
brain.
of. I mean,
Now-
the last award ceremony she went, she had to be escorted up, and you can kind of hear. Like,
What?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, she's slipping a little bit.
Yeah, we'll say like there is. I mean, she is 98, so there is a little bit of a lag time with her now. Like her bandwidth isn't 100%, but like she's still like she's get up there. She's like, yeah. So she's.
I hope she makes it to 100. Betty White,
I do
if you're
too.
listening to this, please make it
2
to
more
100.
years
I
to
love
be
you.
a centurion, and that'd be
I
awesome.
love you. You were great in Lake Placid.
You were great in Lake Placid.
Welcome back to the Roaring
Don't
20s.
remember the Lake Placid.
Oh,
What?
that's right.
She's lived through both Roaring 20s. That's
And
Yeah.
the Prohibition, and the Great Depression, all the wars.
Yep.
crazy.
Great Recession. Yeah.
Great Depression, Great Recession. What else? All the wars.
2 world wars.
Yeah, because
a
we don't
bunch of
think about it that
nonsense
much.
wars.
But
Several
we haven't really been
conflicts.
around that long.
No.
It's only about 300 years.
I think about it all the time.
That's
200
like-
years.
I
You're
think
a
Joe
baby.
Rogan says he's like, that's like 3 people.
Yes, he did say that the other day.
Yeah, like-
it's
You know,
like that's literally 3 people ago. Yeah, 3 people ago.
You know what's funny is that last Friday I went to a meeting with a bunch of Stoics and philosophers and all these people want to talk about stuff, and there's this older lady there, and she was talking about her grandfather, and she was like, yeah, he just got out of World War I and he had his uniform on and he looked good, and I was like, oh, that's right. Like you
No.
forget how like
That's 100 years ago.
yeah, exactly. You forget, like, I think Willie,
Close.
our buddy Willie, who used to work here, he used to bring that up all the time. And he was like, that's like 2 grandmas ago, man.
Yeah.
Like people
Literally
act
3
like
people ago.
slavery was forever ago. That was 2 grandmas, man.
Yep.
And I was just like, yeah, that's legit.
Crazy. Puts it into such perspective.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He literally did. I
Yeah.
literally laughed so hard when he said that. I'm like, oh my God.
And on that note, we are going to end. I appreciate all you guys tuning in and watching us. This is our first episode of Rockstar News, the podcast.
Rockstar Nerds.
I
Get it
forgot.
right,
Nerd,
bro.
nerd, nerd.
First episode of Rockstar Nerds, and we're also going to be having a companion show that will be released sometime soon once we put that together. But we're going to try dropping these podcasts once a week so that you guys can listen to us talk about nonsense, pop culture, movies, games, all that good stuff. So you guys are interested, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like us, share us with all your people. I'm Monty Mike.
I'm Chris Lim.
Max Moretta and Michael Rohde. They're not with the
Max missed
program
bet
yet.
on that one.
Yeah, so they're
Which button am I pushing here to sign
not
up?
yet, sir. And we'll see you guys in the
Telling
next
you what
video.
to do.
Go ahead.
Which
Hit
one?
it.
Okay.
No, wrong one.
Yeah, I got it. Which one?
Good Lord. That's the one.
Is that the one?
The one.
All right, cool.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Bye.